I wrote an open letter to my daughter who turned 17 yesterday. And I wanted to make it into a video, Bree, so that when I can't be there, you can still have me there. I'm creating this video so that instead of just reading my words, you can hear my voice and you can see my face. So here goes. Brianna, reflections on 17 years of being your mom. Normally when I write a piece for your birthday, I talk about you, how proud I am of you, how awe-inspiring you are, and how excited I am to see the amazing things that you choose to do with your limitless talents, ever-growing abilities, and your intellect. I tell you how breathtakingly gorgeous and mind-blowingly extraordinary you are. This is a special birthday, however. The next time I celebrate your birthday, you will be an adult. And before you enter this year, the last year of what the law considers to be your childhood, even though you're going to always be my baby, I wanted to make sure that you know how important your presence has been to my life. You may never truly comprehend the impact that you've had on me. I don't know what I would have done without you. It doesn't feel like it's in a quite so distant past that I found out about you. But it was literally a lifetime ago. Your lifetime. It was a Thursday, June 3rd, 1999, when we walked into the county clinic, your father and I. And when we left that clinic, the only proof I had of your existence was on a tiny slip of paper and in the tears that stained my cheeks. Nothing about my body had changed. I was still just a slim, thick little 16-year-old trying to figure out a way to let it sink in that when I touched the flat surface of my belly, somewhere just below the surface, you were there. I didn't know a thing about real responsibility, yet there was a life, your life, growing inside me. I walked into the clinic that day as a child myself, but I walked out of the clinic that day a mother, your mother. I was terrified. If I'm being honest, I was disappointed, maybe even a bit devastated. Every time I touched the skin that covered the space you occupied within my body, I felt guilt. I felt shame. I felt heartbreak. Not because you were in there, but because I felt like you deserved so much more than I could give you. I felt like I had already failed you. I had nothing. Just 5 months and 1 day before, I had been walking into the DMV getting my driver's license. Not long after that, I had been walking into Arby's getting my first shit job. Yet after walking out of that clinic, I was sitting in your father's car in the parking lot feeling like the smallest child and trying to figure out how in the hell I would ever be able to have enough for you or to be enough for you. Your daddy, from the moment they confirmed the pregnancy, was ridiculously excited about you. He promised me we could do it. He promised me he would be there every step of the way. He promised me that no matter what, he would take care of me. And more importantly, he would always take care of you. All promises that he kept to this day without exception. Even so, that day, As I rode in silence with tears streaming down my face, I wondered what kind of mother I could possibly be to you when realistically I had barely experienced life at all. All I knew was that I had 7.5 months to figure it out. But I assure you, I did not figure it out in those 7.5 months. You arrived 10 days late, and the moment I touched you on that first Sunday morning in February of 2000, the moment I felt your heartbeat on my chest, heard your voice, something inside me exploded. I was so overwhelmed. All I could do was cry. You had only been as real as the motion that I could feel inside the new bump on my body and the outline of skeletal images that I could barely even make out on the ultrasound screen. You had only been as real as my own imagination, but in that moment, the realization of you became a weight around my heart that has never lifted. I was 17 years old, same as you are now, halfway through my junior year of high school, and I was holding someone else's life in my hands. A life I was now responsible for. Holding you, running my fingers along the skin over your spine, rolling my thumb back and forth across the bottom of your tiny little foot, breathing you in so deeply. I never felt so fragile, so vulnerable, so afraid. But I also never felt so strong, so determined, so in love. I was shattered in the most beautiful way, and the pieces of me were slowly reconnected by the energy that I could feel in the deepest part of my being every time even the thought of you crossed my mind. You would wrap your little hand, your entire hand, around my pinky, and I'll never forget how tightly you'd hold on. I knew that no matter what the future held, it would always be on me to make sure that you were safe and that your needs were met. It would always be up to me to know that you were okay. Every decision that I made from that point was with the knowledge that it would impact you in some way. I always felt that I needed to be the best of the best in everything, to make you proud, to show you what kind of woman you came from, to make sure that when you grow up, you would know that in your blood ran strength and resilience and capability. I needed to know that you were raised being encouraged to think freely, to be independent, to love yourself, to care enough to show an interest in others, to challenge the status quo, to never allow judgments from other people intimidate or deter you, and to never be judgmental yourself. Here I am 17 years later, realizing that I never really did figure it out. I did the best that I knew how at every given point, but I think somehow I've always been that same terrified 16-year-old that walked out of the clinic that day. It was impossible to know if I was doing what I should be doing. It was excruciating to never be sure of anything. And I always wonder if you had enough love, enough guidance, enough support, if we had done well enough with you. I was never really confident in whether I made the right choices, and never totally positive that I was good at being your mom, at finding that balance. I needed my life to reflect what I felt like I owed you. I wanted you to know that education is important. So even though I couldn't finish high school, I scored among the highest on my GED, and I fought my way through college with my name placed on the president's list or dean's list every semester, earning awards, and graduating with honors. I wanted you to know that you can be anything and that you never have to settle. So even though it was difficult, I worked a full-time and part-time job while building my own business. I wanted you to know that you were important. So even if I had to be late for a school event, I did my best to just be there. I wanted you to know that your dreams, no matter what path you take, are never out of reach. So I never stopped reaching for mine, no matter how painful or how difficult or seemingly impossible it felt. No matter how many times I failed, no matter how embarrassing it became, I kept pressing. So you can see me pressing. I wanted you to know that the things that I achieved in my life, I may have never achieved if it weren't for you. When I walked into that clinic that day, I put a period on the end of the sentence that had been running in my story for 4 years. A messy sentence, one laced with mistakes and consequences, pain and regret, apathy, self-destruction. I walked out of that clinic knowing that I had to be more for you. I had to care about me for you. I sacrificed a lot to give you the best that I had in me. And I know you've heard that. But what you haven't heard is that you're the reason that the best existed within me to begin with. Everything I sacrificed for you, I never would have had if it weren't for you. So, in all honesty, I never gave up anything that would have even remotely been possible if you hadn't come along. You made me better. You gave me purpose. It was only because of the beating of your heart that I even had a reason to live. You saved me from myself, and for that I will always be grateful. Brianna, you are most certainly and without a doubt the best thing that ever happened to my world. And I know that coming into my world the way that you did made yours a little harder. But I'm so proud of the woman that you've become. I knew nothing when I heard you cry for the first time, but I knew that I would spend my life trying to keep your tears from falling and making sure that your world kept spinning the way that you needed it to. It was because of my love for you that I learned so that I could teach you to be better than me. Much to my surprise, over the next 17 years, you would teach me far more than I believe you could have ever learned from me. Navigating the years that bridge adolescence and adulthood is hard. I did everything I could to keep you from becoming me, instead of just recognizing who you are. It took me far too long to understand that you were never going to be me. You are incredible, insightful, witty, sarcastic. You're intelligent, gorgeous, beautiful, deep. You're like me, but you aren't me. You are the best of what I could have possibly instilled in you, combined with the greatness of your unique self. I feel privileged to be a part of your journey. I hope my presence will help you along the way as you become your best self, as you build a life that someday a little person, an extension of you, will be proud of, even though you will wonder about that incessantly. I hope that what you've seen in me will help you choose your path and create a space for yourself in this world in which you will always be enough, even if only just for you. Above all, know that I'm always here for you, and I am and will always be so very proud of you. You made me a mom, and being your mom was one of the greatest gifts I could have ever received. Here are 17 bits of wisdom and pieces of advice that I hope you'll carry with you throughout your life. 1. Believe from within. Don't let anyone force their truth on you, not even me. Everyone will want to give you their God, their religion, their belief. The truth is what you'll find inside yourself. Trust in the necessity of universal balance. Call it reaping what you sow, call it karma. Either way, no matter what system of belief you develop over the course of your life, the universe, on a fundamental level, will always bring about balance. You will attract the energy that you emit. Be positive, be thoughtful, be just, be patient. Expect your energy to come back to you. Expect greatness. 2, you are powerful. Take the world by storm and make sure that no one can miss your magic. Hold your head up. Look people in the eye. Be clear. Be direct. Be confident. Be assertive. Be unapologetically you. 3, choose people carefully. Love hard. Be vulnerable. Try not to need people to understand you. They rarely will. And you have to be okay with that. 4, change is good. It is often painful, confusing, hard to adjust to, but change can be good. Don't be afraid of it, and don't shy away from it. You cannot grow without it. 5, some people will never see you as you are, no matter how much of yourself you show them. Because of this, be careful of who you welcome into your world. And don't be afraid to let people go. Pay close attention to your intentions and your motives. Know that no matter how much you try to not disappoint people, you won't always avoid causing disappointment. And know that no matter how hard you try not to hurt people, you will not always avoid causing pain. Be aware of your intentions. Knowing that you meant well is sometimes all you can do in those situations. Never let anyone cause you to question who you know you are just because of what they think of you. 6, dream. Dream big. Dream often. Dream wildly. And know that no matter where your dreams take you, you owe nothing to anyone. Likewise, no one owes anything to you. 7, read. Read voraciously. Use your mind. Explore other worlds through your imagination. Read every kind of literature, and not just on a screen. Sit down with a book in your hands. Turn the pages, absorb the words. No matter what you do or how busy you become, expose yourself to a new genre or a new author at least every month. 8, you have undiscovered worlds behind your eyes. Write every day. Keep a journal. I can't even adequately emphasize the value of being able to go back and have an honest look at past versions of yourself through visiting your own thoughts. Some of which, after a few years, you won't even agree with or relate to anymore. But you'll remember, and it will keep you grounded. Writing will always be the best method of calming your inner madness. 9, accept yourself. Practice self-care. I love the way you love you. Please always love yourself like that. Also, love yourself enough to ask for help when you need it. 10, live your life on purpose, but live your life with purpose as well. It's great to have fun, but make sure that you're constantly and perpetually aware of your path, your goals. Everything that you do should either support your purpose or not detract from it. Sometimes you won't be able to give yourself a reason to do something, but you also won't be able to give yourself a reason to not do that thing. If it isn't harmful to yourself or to others and can't affect the realization of your goals, I say go for it. Experience is a great teacher. 11, let people be people. They are just as human as you are. Accept people. Love them because they're different. The world can be cruel. Give people a break. Likewise, give yourself a break. It's great to have high expectations, but leave a little room for error. No one ever stops making mistakes. It's just part of the human experience. 12, never waste time on regret. You're human. Even when you think a situation can't go wrong, sometimes you will fuck up anyway. Accountability is healthy. If you know you fucked up, you learn something. I was taught that forgiving others is the most important thing that you can do. It's not. Forgive yourself. Whether anyone forgives you or not, forgive yourself. That is most important. We're all imperfect and we're all flawed. But the thing that keeps us from being able to forgive others is that most of us haven't learned how to forgive ourselves. There will be times when no matter what you do to make things right, someone else will refuse to forgive you, and they will still want you to suffer for your mistakes. Forgive yourself. Process it, accept it, move on. 13, chase nothing in life besides your own happiness. Don't try to be too strong, and don't try to always be strong. It will wear you down and it can make you weak. Learn to recognize when you've had enough, and if you need to let people down because they are too much to carry, don't ever feel bad about putting yourself first. Your happiness and your peace are completely in your own hands. 14, find your passion and create a life out of it. Let your passions lead your ambitions. Let your ambitions drive your decisions. 15, too much of anything is bad. So always practice moderation. Never forget that. You'll know when you need a break from something. Listen to your inner voice. Sometimes you'll even need a break from people, and that's okay. Never feel guilty for needing time away from your normal routine. Always handle your responsibilities, but when you need a break, take a break. 16. Find beauty in everything. You may have to look a little harder in certain places, but always find the beauty. It's there. 17. When all else fails, breathe. Life goes on. Tomorrow is always another day. No matter how bad a situation looks, there will come a day when you will look back and realize that it is never quite as bad as it seems. The sun always comes out to dry up the rain. That's it. Happy 17th birthday, my love.